Do you struggle with making decisions? Well, at some point we all do. While there are some decisions that I find easy to make, like what to say to start a conversation or my personal policy toward jerks, there are many that I find difficult. And these tend to be the ones where the stakes are high, the outcomes aren't very clear cut, and everybody has an opinion. This means that there's likely to be controversy no matter what is decided. And it's even worse if it's going to take time to tell whether the decision was a good one or not. Now, the more senior you become, the more you will be called upon to make tough decisions. So now is a good time to start preparing yourself for difficult decision making. And just as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, it's not always possible to gain consensus on whether a decision is good or bad. But it is possible to ensure that you engage in a strong decision-making process every time you face a big decision. A leader I respect recently shared his 5-step process for making important decisions with me. And I'll be implementing this process for my next big decisions, and I think this process can make a difference for you as well. So when you're under pressure to make a tough decision, it's useful to have a checklist like this to guide you through the decision-making process. So the first step is to determine who the decision is for. That is, whose perspective do you need to take into account? For whom is this a good decision? So think about the key stakeholders. For a corporate executive, it's the employees, clients, and investors primarily. For the dean of a college, it's the faculty, staff, and students. For parents, the family unit. Who is your decision for? Then second, what does it mean for the future context? Every time you make a decision, you're setting a precedent. It's a data point that stakeholders can point to in the future as they make a case for making their own decision making. So while it's tempting for a parent to give in to their toddler's latest temper tantrum, the longer term consequences can be even worse. Similarly, it pays to give serious thought to future implications of the decisions that you make today. So third, what are the values involved? Now, the compass for making decisions, the best one is to base them on values, yours and the organization's. And you want to get clear on what they are before you get thrown in the deep end. And make sure there's as much alignment between yours and the organization's as possible. And if you can't find alignment, maybe you don't belong there. Then fourth, it's who are you bringing into the decision-making process? It's tempting to just bring together a small team of like-minded people that'll make decision-making quicker, but it also leads to groupthink, which is the foundation for making suboptimal decisions. So instead, look for contrarians and get their points of view just like Abraham Lincoln did. And as the creator of this decision-making process says, make sure you have a group of people that you can assemble quickly and then provide a safe zone for them to express their points of view without any consequences. Number 5, establish collective responsibility. So once you've brought in and taken into account a diverse group of viewpoints and you've had that robust discussion, it's still up to you as the leader to make the final decision. However, you want to make sure the group you've assembled understands that the decision is the group's collective responsibility. That is, once they walk out of the room, it will equally be their decision and they can't undermine or complain about it. Now, the origins of this concept of collective responsibility comes from the well-established parliamentary procedures in the United Kingdom. And the convention is that the members of the decision-making cabinet must support all decisions made behind closed doors in the cabinet, even if they don't agree with them. So the next time you're faced with a big decision, use these 5 steps to ensure you've used a robust decision-making process. It'll also increase the likelihood that your decision will stand the test of time as being a great decision. You know, in the end, the key is to have a good process, one that you can communicate and defend to the rest of the world, and that will give you confidence in making your big decisions. So what are the decisions you struggle with, and which elements of this decision-making process would make the biggest improvements in your decision-making? Leave a comment and let me know. And if you're watching this from anywhere other than my blog, head on over to maybusch.com/blog, and I look forward to welcoming you there. And in the meantime, know that I am rooting for you, so keep going.